F1-24 on page 30. You should already be at page 30. Now the formats and information needed for this particular problem are there on page F4, so feel free to mark both pages and flip back and forth. As we look at the program, we see that there's a retail clothing store. Last month clothing sales totaled $5,200, $2,800 for clothing sold, rent of $300, and wages of $900. What I've already done is I've already put in the formats that I want to use. And again, you should be able to find those on these various videos back on the pages referenced. So, the first required item is to calculate the gross profit on sales for last month. Looking at the directions here, you'll find that the clothing sales was $5,200. So we'll put that in. Now again, I'm using formulas to make all my calculations easy. Now if you go back and look at F4, you'll find that gross profit is your sales less your cost of goods sold, which abbreviates to COGS. Your costs of goods sold was actually the cost for the clothing that he sold, and that's $2,800. So the answer to question A is $2,400 worth of gross profit. Now when you do this, your formats don't have to be nice and neat with all the little dollar signs and such. But remember, the formats I'm putting on here are ones that work, and I'm fine if you use them exactly the way they're supposed to be and just put the right numbers into them. The second question says to identify expenses incurred during the month and explain whether they should be used to compute the gross profit or net income. So, the expenses are clothing, $2,800, rent of $300, and wages of $900. So, let's identify those. We've already identified that the clothing costs comes out of gross profit. So let's type in gross profit right next to it. The rent does not come out of gross profit, so obviously it comes out of net profit. And the same for the employee wages. Now finally, it says to calculate the net income for last month. Now, going back to page F4, you'll see that gross profit less the items coming out for net profit come back to the net income. So, your gross profit is $2,400, like it says up above in response to question A. Your rent is $300, which you just typed in, $900 for wages, and that leaves you with a net profit. The problem is not real tough. It's not what I'd call rocket science, but hopefully you'll be able to get it correct without any errors as you move forward into the accounting exercises.